We got our bare frame. All right, folks, welcome back to another episode of Odyssey Life. I'm Bernie. This is the Odyssey Life Workshop, and I am super excited that you stopped by today, because today is part 2 of our FL250 teardown. If you missed last week's episode, I'll put a link in the description. Head over there, check that out. And if you're new to the channel, this project here, our FL250 build and giveaway, is sponsored by our proud sponsor, Joe. Head over at ODATV, your premier place for FL250 and 350 parts. Joe decided it was a good idea, after being at this for about 15 years, to get this machine, make a comprehensive library of how-to videos, and then give this bad boy away. Start somebody else's Odyssey life and make somebody else's dream come true. We're super excited about this. So many things, so many options. Pretty soon, we'll be taking the parts to powder coating, and I'll be posting that up on the Odyssey Life Facebook group. You can go over there, join, and when I post it, you'll be able to take part in choosing the colors for this machine, for the frame, and then the plastics, and all that other stuff, so on and so forth, till we give this bad boy away. So yeah, don't forget about Joe over at ODATV. That's ODDATV for all your FL250 and 350 parts. So yeah guys, I'm super excited. As I said, we have a seat, steering, floor pan, bumper, tie rod, suspension, all that stuff. We got a pretty full video today, and I'm excited to get started. So I'm gonna zip the lip and flip the switch. Let's get going. I'm so stupid. Alright gang, we're gonna start by removing this seat. This seat's held to the frame by 4 12mm bolts. You can see 12mm bolt right under there. Another one right there. And also there's 2 right in here. And then there's 2 10mm bolts that hold our seat pan here at the bottom. One here and one down there. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna remove those 4 12mm bolts and those 2 10mm, and we're gonna take this seat off. Oh, and don't forget your plastic covers that run down the side of your seat. If you want to use an impact or a socket, you want to remove the plastic to get to the bolts. Next is the front bumper, which has 4 12mm bolts, one right here, one right down here, right underneath, and the same on the other side. In preparation of taking the foot tub out, we're going to start by removing the front plastic off of our steering wheel so we can get our steering wheel off, disconnect our throttle and our brake cables, so we can get those out of the way so we can pull the steering wheel off, so then we can pull the foot tub off. So I've got our trusty Phillips head screwdriver. We've got 3 Phillips head screws across the top, one by the kill switch, one by the light switch, and then 2 down at the bottom right here. So we're gonna go ahead, take those screws out, get this cover off. To remove the steering wheel cover, we have to get under the frame and unclip our wire harness from under the frame. It goes under the in between the frame rail and up underneath in between, and there's connections. Undo the connections, and then we can pull the wire harness to the steering wheel up through the top to get our steering wheel cover off. There's our wire harness with our steering wheel cover. We have to take our throttle cable and our brake cables off. So you can see that the throttle cable is right in here. You just take the cable itself, bring it up, there we go. And you should be able to unscrew the whole throttle. There we be, see, that one's out. Now the same with the brake. To pick it up, bring it down, there we go. That also unscrews, and that one you take right through the middle of the grommet. We have to pop the grommet out. There we go. Now we can remove the steering wheel. Steering wheel nut is a 17 millimeter. Get in the machine like you were riding it, grab the steering wheel and just jiggle it and pull up at the same time. And this one's coming off. There we go. One steering wheel. Next is the floor pan, and after we took the seat out, took the fenders off, took the cage off, removed the bumper, the only two bolts that are left are two 10 millimeter bolts that are right under here. So we're gonna go ahead, get our impact, and get those out. Now we're going to remove the shocks. We have a 17 millimeter up top and a 12 millimeter at the bottom, and at the bottom you're going to need a 12 millimeter wrench because it's got a nut and a bolt, and the top it's just a bolt. Alright, next are tie rod ends, and it looks like we have a cotter pin. It is a 14. So we're gonna go ahead, drop this bolt right here. And then we'll go ahead and use this rag to give her a tap so we don't dent it. Well, we're getting down to some of the last steps. This step is removing the J-arms. So we have to, well, first of all, I need to share some information with you about the J-arms. The J-arms don't have any grease fittings. You can take these off, take the J-arms off, drill them, and put some grease fittings in there, because they have a habit of wearing on one side of the shaft and not the other. Same with the spindles. You can knock the kingpin out, you can drill out the spindle and put a grease fitting in that also. Down the pin out, pull your washer off. There's a little O-ring that goes on the inside of the J-arm, on the inside of this hole right here, and it's right here, and it came out. So from what I can tell, the last step is removing these tie rods and steering shaft. I want to remove the tie rods before we remove the steering shaft. It'll make it a lot easier just to slide it out. One tie rod. Two tie rod ends. Get this steering shaft out. Take the two 12mm bolts out for the bump stops. One bump stop. We're gonna treat these good because we're gonna reuse these. We're getting wrapped up here. We got our parts, we got our nice table set out there, got all of our important parts set up over here. We got our bare frame, and then we got all our parts back here. We're gonna be sorting through this stuff, getting laid out, what's going for powder coating first. I gotta take that bumper to work, straighten that out, get that thing looking nice before that can go to powder coating. But most importantly, the frame. So yeah, we're just super excited. Let me get you on and we'll get to the outro. Okay folks, how about that? We got this thing stripped down to the frame. I'm super excited. This thing's just a big go-kart, guys. I didn't realize it. Me and Joe were laughing about that on the phone today, how uncomplex this machine is in comparison to the FL250. So yeah, I guess now that we got this down to the frame, and I can take pictures to send to the powder coater, I can give them a call this week, get some colors. I'll be posting them on the Odyssey Life Facebook group. If you haven't gone there, go ahead, join up. Take part in helping us pick out the color of the frame and then the plastics and so on and so forth until we're done, guys, and we give this bad boy away. Speaking of giveaways, I have this whole box of FL250 tune-up parts. It seems like when I announce this giveaway, I forget about this giveaway. So yeah, if we hit 50 likes on this video, or we hit 300 subscribers, which is only 20 more, I'm gonna go ahead and pick a winner for this stuff. We got FL250 tune-up kit, we got a unifilter, NGK spark plug, plus a coil wire, and I'm throwing in a Moose Racing air filter element, just so you can have something extra. So yeah, 50 likes or 20 subscribers, whichever one comes first. If you're excited about winning this stuff and you want a chance, go ahead, hit that like button. And if you own an FL250 and you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. So yeah guys, I'm really excited. Don't forget about Joe over at ODATV, our proud sponsor for this build and giveaway. If you don't remember, I say it in every video, he is the premier place for FL250 and 350 parts. You know, so go ahead, squeak on over to ODATV, that's ODDATV.com, get yourself something to keep your machine running. Joe's a great guy. We're proud to have him as a sponsor. So I guess, yeah, everything's going good. We paid for the rim. It'll be shipped this week. Putting that on, getting back out at the Odyssey Life test track. We'll be ripping it up, tearing it up before we know it. So I guess until next week, guys, I'm going to be getting a hold of the powder coater, getting us some colors, posting them on the Odyssey Life Facebook page, and we're going to get this show on the road. Because it ain't work if you're having fun. Have a good week.